Creek Guitars. We're going to call this a product spotlight video. We're selling a good bit of these guys, and I'd like to explain to you what the differences are. This is the lower priced unit that we sell. This is absolutely wonderful for the hobbyist. The big advantage of this over Dremel tools is that the speed is at 56,000 RPM. Actually has a little bit more power, and the unit has roller bearings, so the run out is the run out's minimal. That means that the bit will stay true, it's not going to be chattering around. The higher speed also affords you that you don't get the grab and run. If you're using a little Dremel tool, sometimes they'll turn slow enough that you'll actually overfeed on the cut and they'll want to run. And that can be very detrimental to your work. Now this one, as I told you, is 56,000 RPM. This guy spins at 70,000 RPM. This one's going to cost you about double the price of this unit. They are both good units, but if you're going to be inlaying 6-8 hours a week, if you're in the professional mode or very high-end hobby, you might want to consider going with the Sioux. You want to keep them oiled. They need a drop or two of oil every now and then. And the basic way to put these together is pretty simple. But before I tell you how to put them together, they also need an air compressor to run. And this is a case where the bigger the air compressor you can get, the better. You need at least a minimum of 0.9 cubic feet at 90 psi continuous to run these things. I have an 80-gallon tank, 5 horsepower, but if you get a 2 horsepower with maybe a 30-gallon tank, and you will want to invest in an oil water separator, they're about $20, and that will help eliminate running oil or water as your air compressor heats up. They'll tend to spit that kind of stuff out. Now, when you put this together, you want some Teflon tape and you put it in the threads. Then this guy goes in here, as you can see, and you're going to put this on. Now I want you to notice one thing. There's a top ring here, and you can see it has a set screw. That will lock this end on. This little silver band, if you can see it, that spins. Alright? Now, just for quick giggles, you'll see when you put this on, and while I'm only going to hand tighten this, you're going to hear some air leaks, but I want to explain to you how this goes. The air is going to come through here, go down into the unit, it spins a turbine, and then it gets exhausted out the top. So the unit doesn't leak. It's designed in order to let the air in and the air out. This is your exhaust hose. So this is going to fit on here, and you put that on, and you'll take that down, and it'll like click over that ring. And you want to take electrical tape and just tape this end on. Now, I have one here that I modified, and I just took the base and I drilled 2 holes over here and in the middle. And then what I did is I sanded this flush to the bit. And you're going to say, what does that do? Well, if I'm going to be inlaying along a fingerboard extension like in a D45, I can actually lay this against here. I can put it in. I can make a filler strip of what I want to inlay, cut it again, and I can be very precise on my lining. So you can make this an inlay tool. You can also make it useful for other things like kerfing, notching the kerfed liner. There's many things you can do. Now you can see I put a little hose clamp on here also, and you'll be able to hear the sound. I can actually kind of control the speed on this. I can turn it low like that if I want to inlay in a pick guard, or I can do regular route inlay. So you can see they're pretty versatile. Now this happens to be the 70,000 RPM unit, but I will be honest with you, I do use both of them. They're both good units, but for inlay work, most of my inlay work I am using the black one, but I'm doing a lot more inlay. If you're a hobby builder, that little blue guy will definitely do the job for you, and it will last a long time if you just treat it with a little bit of care. Put 1 drop of arrow oil in here when you go to use it, and if you're going to use it all day, like when you come back from lunch, put another drop in there. So now you can see I have the exhaust on here. You saw how you put the hose clamp, and what I'll do at this end is I'll take a paper towel, and I'll show you. I'll take a paper towel, fold it, and then I will wrap this around here, and then I tape it on there. Now what that does is that helps to defer the air, so that if you're using this, you aren't getting a blast of air in your face, and should you eject any water or oil, it'll capture it in this rag. Also help to knock down the noise a little bit. So it's not much to do. Teflon tape, and this here you definitely want to tighten up. Same way here, you're going to want to tighten it up, and there are a little instruction. There's little instructions so that you get to see everything, how it operates, what you need to do. These are your wrenches for the collet. Now, when you go to put this in, you want to drop this in to the point you can see the blue and the black area. You want to lock in on the black area. So you put this in and you tighten that up. And you tighten it and you want to check it. It may wiggle a little bit, that's okay, but you don't want it to wiggle a lot, so you tighten it up a little bit more, and you want to make sure that that stays pretty snug. That's why you want to stay on that black part. That black housing can take what you need to bend. The next thing you're going to do is you can adjust the depth by moving these up and down, and you'll be able to make it go higher or lower, whatever you need to do. But what I will tell you is when you make your adjustment and you snuggle this up a little bit, alright, you can adjust it for square, the whole 9 yards. Take a pliers and just give this a little extra tweak, because the high-speed vibration, these can get loose, and you definitely don't want to be working and let the bit go down further than you have it set. They don't take a lot of maintenance. They're pretty much, they work pretty well. And I will tell you that there is a wide variety. You'll see these as cheap as $19 and as expensive as $400 and $500. I can tell you that the $19 ones are $19 for a reason. I tried one, and it's in a landfill somewhere in Pennsylvania. These I found work very well, and they are actually designed to cut metal. So they are plenty strong enough for what you want them to do. So now you know how to put your die grinder together, you know how to put your inlay tool together. You are able to do almost anything at that point, and I hope that explains everything that you need to know to put this together and practice. Have fun, and I'm sure it's going to make your inlay work a lot more enjoyable. So thank you. My shop to yours.